The Father does, the Son does, right? That's your point?
No, it's nothing to do with that. If you have patience and you listen, you will actually end up learning.
Who accepted the Book of Revelation in the early canon? Who accepted it?
No problem. Okay, but that's not a problem. But let me finish, okay?
I can grant he says it. It says that he knew the hour in here. It doesn't help.
This is right, okay? And he holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks among the 7 golden lampstands. I know your deed, your hands, your work, your perseverance. I know that you cannot tolerate wicked people and you have tested. Okay, I will skip a little bit so you can go and blah, blah, blah.
I can grant it. I can say that he knows the hour according to Revelation. It doesn't help.
Say that again?
I can grant that the Book of Revelation says that Christ knows the hour because I know the Book of Revelation has high Christology. I have no issue with that. The point being is that Revelation is not historical to Christ. Because Revelation was firstly rejected by the earliest canons. Nobody accepted it in the early church. And second of all, it's not a historical account of Jesus. The historical account of Jesus would be Mark, Matthew, and Luke. Right? Whatever's corroborated from these sources, that's what historical Jesus. The claim that the brother's making is that the historical Christ doesn't know the hour.
No, he's saying that Christ didn't know the hour, but Christ is the only one with the seals to open the seals.
Right, that's according to Revelation. Why do you have to?
There is nobody else who can open it but him, so he does know the hour.
So why do you have to grant?
If he's the only one with the seals, he's the only one who can know the hour. If I'm the only one with the key to somewhere, I'm the only one who knows what's going on in that
How do I know that Revelation goes back to Christ? How do I know that? It doesn't. So if I write a book and I say now Jesus knows all things pertaining to this tree, for example. Give an example. If I write this book, does that make this true?
What do you mean? I didn't understand.
If I write a book now saying, let's say Jesus doesn't know something, I write it now, and it doesn't date back to him, can that be used as evidence?
But I wouldn't believe you, because why would I take your account into consideration?
Because it doesn't go back to Christ, right?
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's because of the timeline. Just because this is the reason why I don't believe in the Quran because there were a lot of things that are said in the Quran that I know for a matter of fact that Jesus wouldn't speak like that. And that it contradicts not just Jesus, but it contradicts many prophets before Jesus.
Exactly.
So it's very difficult for me to believe in the Quran, knowing that Muhammad fails a lot of the criteria to be a prophet, because he's not foretold, and there are a lot of other criteria that he fails. He's not foretold. He's not foretold anywhere in the Bible. They give a warning. They say even if an angel is to preach a gospel different to this one, let him be accursed.
That's Galatians 1:8.
This is already a warning, and it says also that there will be fake prophets coming, and that some of them would be like sheep's, ravens. I don't know how to explain.
Wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yes, wolves in sheep's clothing. So it gives a warning, but when they are talking about it, they are not saying a person will come. They are saying a comforter.
I didn't even go to John 16. I didn't even go to that.
I understand, but I know where you were leading to. You're leading to the comforter part.
I'm not. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Do you know that Muhammad was foretold in the Old Testament?
One second.
He's not foretold in the Old Testament.
Don't let her go to another argument. So we can both agree. The point that you're making is that because what I'm saying doesn't corroborate and doesn't go back to Christ, is not historical to Christ, therefore I can't use as evidence, right? Now,
just like the Quran as well, can we agree? Because the Quran,
I got you. The Quran is not a historical account of Christ. We can agree on that, no issue. The point being is that Revelation falls in the same boat, because Revelation is not attested by the early church, that's the first of all, and it doesn't go back to Christ. So under that same standard, I can reject the book of Revelation, and I can say that the Mark, Matthew, and Luke, since they are close to Jesus and they can be corroborated through cues and so on and so forth, therefore, I don't accept Revelation to be able to tell me that Jesus knew the hour. So based on the plain evidence found in Mark 30:32, where it clearly says that Christ doesn't know the hour, and he gives an analogy, an example. He said the same way that the son doesn't know the hour is the same way how a servant doesn't know when the owner of the house comes back. That's not referring to cognitive knowledge, that's not referring to declarative knowledge, it's referring to cognitive knowledge. So, now, do you agree that the book of Revelation does not date back to Christ?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Can anyone else wear this? Can I hold it?
I got you. I can put it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
She lost. You have to answer.
So does he not know the hour, or he concealed it?
Yeah. So the mark that
he concealed it concealed it from us instead of not knowing.
Yeah, I got you. So the point that you're trying to make is that the word has a meaning range. The word in Greek is oiden. It can either mean to declare or to know, right? She's saying that it could mean to declare. Well, I'm saying that the evidence points that the probability that is referring to him not knowing is much higher for two reasons. First of all, the earliest reading of the text in Mark 13:32 given by Irenaeus in Against Heresies, he says that the Son truly doesn't know, and it's not embarrassing that the Father is greater than the Son, that he doesn't know the hour. And the second point is the example, the analogy that Jesus gives of him not knowing is like a servant not knowing when the owner comes back. Obviously, the servant doesn't declare when the owner comes back. The servant truly doesn't know. So I'm saying that the immediate context and the earliest evidence suggests that when Christ says he doesn't know, that he truly lacks an omni-property of being Yahweh, and therefore he can't be Yahweh. As you can address that, please, go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, let's forget about the bits that you're saying. I'm going to stick to the revelation anyway. If he does not know, and he says that he's concealing it, and yet he's the only one with the seals, how is that possible?
Yeah, I'm saying that when he says he doesn't know, I'm saying that it goes beyond concealing it. Because knowledge that's cognitive is either possessed or negated. There is no third option. For example, when it comes to power, I can limit my power. I can, for example, lift 10 kg, I can choose to lift 1 kg. That's fine. But when it comes to cognitive knowledge, a proposition is either possessed or negated. So when you say that Christ was possessed the knowledge but doesn't confess it, that literally doesn't mean nothing. It's a contradiction. So what I'm saying is, if you agree with me that Revelation doesn't date to the historical Christ, and if you have evidence for such, I would love for you to present it. I'm supposing that it doesn't date back to him, and because it doesn't date back to him, it can't be used as evidence. Just like the Quran can't be used as evidence, just like my book that I said can't be used as evidence. And the second point is that I don't believe he's saying that he doesn't declare it. I'm saying he doesn't know the hour because of the two examples that I gave. Go ahead.
So I will instead of going around, I'm gonna cut through and go right to the end, because your scholar refused to answer this question to me, which clearly shows in black and white the difference between Islam and Christianity. And I'll skip right to the end. You are aware of the Mahdi, your Mahdi, which is coming in the future, and you're aware of your Antichrist, which is the Dajjal. Okay, so the Dajjal, what he's going to be doing is he's going to be declaring that he is God, if I'm not wrong, according to Islam, if my memory is not failing me. So your Dajjal, he's gonna claim to be Jesus Christ, but he will claim to be God, basically, and he will be basically bringing.
He will do actions.
His fire from the sky down. Where in Christianity, on the other hand, Jesus Christ, when he comes back, he's gonna claim to be God, and the same fire motion is gonna happen. So your Antichrist is the Jesus Christ of the Bible. Okay. So how can you, match? Because it doesn't make sense, because your Mahdi is supposed to be here for 7 years, and that's the exact same 7 years that we are told that we're gonna have the, what is it called? I'm sorry, it's just because
that's okay.
English is not my first language, but the tribulation, we're gonna have 7 years tribulation, which is the same 7 years that your Mahdi is supposed to be just reigning for. In the Bible, the Antichrist, he will reign for 7 years, and he will make everyone bow down to him. Like, just so I'm not saying anything wrong, because he's very knowledgeable as well. He's gonna make people declare themselves, which is the mark of the beast, which is basically like declaring yourself accepting another God. So your Mahdi and your Isa is our Antichrist and the false prophet and the beast, because also in the Quran you have that I don't remember if it's the black stone now, because I was a Muslim a while back. I still read it, but I forgot the spot that either the stone or the Quran, they will be speaking. So, and the beast is supposed to be speaking. In our book we have an object which is supposed to be speaking. So it's basically the same story, but in reverse, where our Jesus is your Antichrist and your Isa is basically the other way around. It's the same story, but just the other way around. How can you
reconcile
the differences?
Yeah, I got you. So again, when it comes to speaking about the mark of the beast and speaking about these issues of eschatological issues of what's going to happen in the end times, well, there is a precept in the argument. She's asking, how do you reconcile? How do you reconcile that the earlier statements show that the Islamic sources, the Mahdi of the Islamic sources is actually the Antichrist? Well, there's a premise being assumed. The premise is being assumed is that Islamic sources are not divine, and the revelation is divine and from God. Well, I would agree with you. Let me make it clear. If revelation was divine, and the book of Revelation was divine and was from God, then it will pose an issue, because then I would have to hold to it and therefore reject Islam. That's obvious. But you have to first prove to me that why should I as a Muslim believe in the book of Revelation when we don't find early attestation for it? That's the first thing. And it doesn't date to the historical Christ. So me as a Muslim, I have no how can I say this? I have no justification, I have no inclination to accept the Book of Revelation because it posits something that's ahistorical, it's like a festival, and I have good reason to believe Islam is true and therefore reject the biblical narrative of eschatology. It's very simple. So the answer to you will be very simple. Because I have good evidence for Islam being true, and because I have good evidence for Prophet Muhammad being a true prophet, I thereby reject the Book of Revelation and accept Muhammad because I can verify him to be a true prophet because he is in the Old Testament. I can show plethora of examples.
Okay.
You said because of the Quran, it affirms what is true. Right?
No, I didn't mention it.
You just said you used the word true just now.
No, I didn't say the Quran affirms what is true. I didn't say that. I said because the Quran.
You said it because didn't you say because the Quran is what in line with what's true?
No,
Like the
I said the
Prophet
Quran is true. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you said the reason why you're going with it is because it's affirming what is true.
No, I didn't say that. I'm not talking about. I don't believe the Quran confirms Revelation at all.
Pardon?
I don't believe the Quran confirms the Book of Revelation at all. I didn't mention that.
No, but the reason why you're going with the Quran because it is confirming what's true.
No, I didn't say that.
No, as in other words, the Quran is what's true and Revelation is what's false.
Yeah.
Because of what the Quran is confirming what is true.
No. Because it confirms. I didn't say that.
So so is the Quran? So you're saying the Quran is true? Yeah.
The Quran is true simplicity. The Quran is
So
true.
the Quran. So is it too far for me to say the Quran is truth?
Sure, the Quran is
Okay.
true. Yeah. Go ahead.
What makes the Quran truth?
And I was gonna ask this question.
Is that the same
yeah,
question?
yeah,
I got
this
you.
question I was gonna ask.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. They can both engage. That's fine.
Hello, how are you?
What to you makes the Quran true?
I got
Why
you.
is it true?
I got you. This question is a very good question. And it's a question that every non-Muslim is justified in asking, by the way. Every non-Muslim should be asking, why is Islam true? Why should we read the Quran?
No. Not why Islam is true. You
What
said the
makes it
Quran.
true?
You said
Yeah, I got you. The evidence for it being true,
No,
right?
not the evidence.
What?
You said the Quran is truth. If
Right.
you said evidence, then you would be saying that the Quran is confirming truth.
No,
You're saying
no.
Quran is confirming reality. You
Do you
rejected
agree
that.
with what he's saying? You want the evidence of
rejected
the Quran
that.
being true, right?
No, you rejected that, right? You
See,
rejected.
brother,
no,
see-
come
see-
on. No, you rejected that.
But
when I asked
listen,
you
this
that.
is what she has to say.
Hold on.
One second.
No,
Just
hold
hear
on.
her out.
I know him.
You
him.
rejected
I understand that, but you guys are going against each other now because you want evidence for Islam and the Quran being true, right?
That
do
is
you
not
want?
what I asked,
No,
and you know what you rejected.
So what's truth?
Now,
What's truth?
No. This is you said the
Clarify your
Quran is
position,
truth.
go
Don't
ahead.
ask me what truth is. You said the
Yeah,
Quran
you
is
want
truth.
you want proof for that?
No. You're saying that the Quran is true,
Yep.
right? Now, is truth divine?
Truth in this instance would be divine, yes.
All right. So are you saying that truth, which is divine, and I believe Allah is al-Haq, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Which means He is the truth,
Yep.
right? Is He this truth? Is it present on earth?
Yeah, if you mean, okay, this is. I got you. And I don't think you're ready for this conversation. I don't think you have the ability to engage with it anyway, but I got you. Yeah, when it comes to predicating names to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we employ what's known as analogical predication, aka that the subject and the predicate relating to that subject has different underlying reality dependent on the subject. So when we say Allah is the truth, what we mean by that is that He knows all things, He is the true being worthy of worship, subject to rububiyyah, uluhiyyah, and asma wa sifat. The three categories of tawheed. Now, when you say that the Quran is truth, that does not mean that the Quran is identical to the essence of God. It just means that in a predicate sense, the Quran possesses truth. Now, I understand that
So
what
it
I'm saying.
carries truth.
It carries truth, yes.
But if it carries truth,
By the way, this is tangential to the argument that we're talking about.
If
We're
it-
talking about
if-
Muhammad's
if-
prophet,
if
we're
it
talking about the
carries-
Bible.
if it carries-
And this is clearly tangential, and you know it. Go ahead.
if it carries truth, right, then you're saying that is it that in the meaning of what you read, that's the truth?
I can answer you.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that both in the love, aka the speech, and the meaning is both true.
Okay, the speech is it collapses into Allah.
Nope. What's the argument for that? What's the argument that the speech of Allah, which
Because
is a distinct... Let me finish the question. What is the argument? He's a proponent of ADS, by the way, divine simplicity. What is the argument that the Quran, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being a distinct attribute of Allah, somehow collapses into their being? Please give the argument for that.
Because how do you make the distinction between Allah and His speech?
Yeah, we make a distinction between Allah and His speech because Allah is the bearer of the attributes, and the attributes merely subsist in their essence. Now, to keep it fair, I understand that these terms may sound a bit difficult, so you can ask me to break it down. But don't proceed if you don't know the terms. Allah is the bearer of the properties of the subsistences, and the speech is a subsistence in Him that instantiates the genus of speech, aka the Quran, or speaking to Moses, or speaking to different prophets.
So is the Quran? fair enough. Subsistence and all of that. I'm still learning. I'm trying to get used to that. But when you're saying that it subsists in Allah, right? Are you saying it shares the same essence?
No, because to share the same essence, to have the same essential properties, obviously essential properties are only said of that which bears the subject. That which bears the predicates. The attributes don't bear predicates. The attributes subsist in the being. So no, it doesn't share the same essence.
So is the speech, you're saying the speech of Allah, right?
Yep.
Is it in any way related to the Quran that you have?
The speech of Allah, the Quran
is it in any way related to the Quran that you have on earth?
Yeah, the Quran is the speech of Allah, yes.
The Quran that you have on earth?
Yes.
So you're saying, and does that make it divine? Is it divine? Is the revelation that you receive from Allah, that revelation, is it divine?
It is divine. But divine does not entail that it shares the same essence. Divine simply means that it comes from the uncreated genus of speech.
Yeah, but you're saying it comes from the uncreated genus of speech. Yeah. You're saying it's not created like you'd say an angel is divine in some sort of sense. You wouldn't say I don't know, spirits are divine in some sort of sense.
No.
You're saying that this is a different category, right? Because it's uncreated, and it's divine in the uncreated sense.
Yeah, that doesn't entail that it shares the same essence. Because for it to share the same, I already gave you the explanation. I'm going to repeat it one more time for you. For it to share the same essence, it must be itself a bearer of attributes. The attribute of speech in of itself is a subsistence in the bearer of attributes. It is not in itself that which bears the attributes. So again, there's distinction which makes it so that Allah can exist and can be counterfactually dependent upon His attributes, and it being the Quran doesn't entail that it shares the same essence, because we affirm a true distinction between Allah and His attributes. Now, for this not to go on so long, I want to engage with the sister. You can either give a reductio, an argument, not a line of questioning, or I can go back and engage with the sister.
Should I ask her the same questions that we asked the other gentleman before?
Yeah,
you
can.
Okay.
I just don't. I've to be fair, I've got a lot of things that you said. I don't think there is a way. I don't think there's a way for you to necessarily say that the Quran is divine in the uncreated sense.
I can say that
without saying that Allah is present in some sort of way on the earth.
That's fine.
Without trying to do some sort of separation between the Quran that's present on earth. It's got its own sort of divinity that's uncreated, and Allah has His own divinity that is also uncreated.
I got you. I already gave you the response for that. I believe it's adequate response. If you're not able to respond to it, then that's fine. I would love to go back and engage with it.
Sticking around a little bit, okay? Just to help, for support, please.
Right.
Okay, because I'm still learning how to debate. Okay, because I'm quite new. But what is it called? What makes it, in your opinion, Muhammad a prophet?
Good question.
What criteria does he meet
Good
to
question.
be a prophet?
Sounds good. I'll answer that question. So the question that she's asking, guys, is what makes Muhammad a prophet? Now, there is many arguments that one can give for Muhammad being a prophet. You can either one give the argument from him being in continuity with the biblical tradition, such as him being foretold in the Old Testament to bring the kingdom of God and destroy the pagan kingdoms found in the book of Daniel. That's one argument we can give, and we can go into that. Or the second argument is going to be the argument from divine revelation or the argument from divine intervention.
Wait, did you affirm the book of Daniel?
Yeah. So just give me a second, let me just finish. I'm looking into that. Yeah.
You'll be able to jump in?
So now, when it comes to, we can give either argument. Which one do you want to engage with? Sister, let me know. Do you want to engage with Muhammad in the Bible, or do you want to engage with the argument from divine revelation? Up to you.
I'm familiar with it, but
I'm giving you a choice. They get to choose.
With you.
I'm asking, why have you affirmed the book of Daniel?
Yeah, because
you're taking multiple different I don't know, reasons as to why Muhammad is the prophet. Why did you include the book of Daniel? Why did you not exclude it, actually?
I got you. Because when you read the book of Daniel, because when it comes to God, and when it comes to God sharing revelation, God doesn't share true revelation with false prophets pertaining to the content, not the way that it's spoken, the content of it. When we go to the book of Daniel, the reason why we can verify that the kingdom of God being spoken about is true revelation in relation to its content is because we see it fulfilled throughout time. The book of Daniel chapter 2, verse number 39 to 44 talks about a kingdom, the kingdom of God, that comes during the time of the Roman Empire and destroys the Roman Empire. The reason why we can say that this can be, we can use as evidence is, first of all, is binding upon you as believers, and second of all, because its content can be verified historically. Daniel predates the events that happened. Daniel foretells these events that are going to happen. We see them unfolding, and since we see them unfolding, we as believers must acknowledge this to be revelation, because otherwise it will be unjust from God to give true revelation to false prophets. And since we negate an injustice and evil from God, we can accept it. Go ahead.
So are you saying that those particular verses in the Quran, that is the word of God?
I'm talking about the Quran right now.
No, sorry, not the Quran. In the Bible, in the book of Daniel. Are you saying that those are the word of God?
In its content, yes, but in its verbatim speech, no. Because when it comes to verbatim speech, we don't have epistemic openness, aka we don't have an ability to verify that actually Daniel wrote it down. But when it comes to the content, aka the meaning,
But that is what you're.
Okay. When it comes to the meaning, we do have epistemic openness because we can corroborate it with history. We can look at what the kingdom of God looks like. We can look at what it does, and we can see that Daniel does predate this and does foretell this.
Are you saying that that part in Daniel is revelation or not?
When it comes to the content, yes. When it comes to the verbatim speech, for example, when it says "the" in the Hebrew or the Aramaic, we don't have epistemic openness, so I can simply be agnostic on it.
I'm sorry. I want to bring up the Quran again, just to clarify that. Yeah. You're saying that those verses in Daniel, that content there is revelation, that's divine. The content of the Quran are the words, in its the revelation, or is it all the content?
Both. The Quran is both, because we do have epistemic openness. We can verify that it's revelation, but when it comes to the book of Daniel, we only have epistemic access to the content. We can't epistemically verify that the content does straight back to Daniel, but because its content is true, we can accept it. And just to be clear, I don't want to make it hard for you guys. I'm granting you the book of Daniel, and I'm saying I can grant every single verse of it to discuss Muhammad being in there. So just so you don't think I'm saying, hey, I will backtrack later. I know I'm granting the book of Daniel.
You're granting the book of
I'm
Daniel?
granting the book of Daniel. That's fine.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry, give me a
No
second.
issue.
So, if you can keep on going, so you were saying, what is it called? That Muhammad, in your opinion, is a true prophet. One of the criteria that you think that he is because of the book of Daniel, that he is foretold on.
Yes.
The book of Daniel. Can you show the verse which you're referring to
Yes.
specifically?
Yeah.
And also the other criteria, apart from that, the other criteria also for Muhammad to be a prophet, because it's not just one criteria like this. There are multiple
we can go one by one.
criteria.
So the first one she asked for the references, asking for the sources. How do you know this? When you go to the book of Daniel chapter 2, verse number 39 to verse number 44, Daniel receives a vision and interprets the vision of King Nebuchadnezzar. And upon interpreting this vision, he says that the 39 to 44. He said that the kingdom of God will be set up during the time of the fourth kingdom, which is Rome. 39 to 44, which is Rome, and after it's established during the time of Rome, it defeats the Roman Empire.
He affirms all of Daniel 7, all of Daniel.
I'm saying I can grant all of Daniel because it doesn't help your case. The book of Daniel, the prophecy points to Muhammad, no one else. It can't be anyone else. So here's the evidence. Daniel 2, 39 to 40.
So I want to contend. If you're saying, wait, which prophecy? Are you saying
the kingdom of God to come?
Are you talking about all of Daniel?
All of Daniel is not about the kingdom. I'm talking about the prophetic elements.
You're talking about 39
Okay, so when it
44.
talks about prophetic elements, when it says in 13.
Let me finish the statement. I'll just finish the statement.
Go on, sorry.
So the verse number 44 says, in the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left from other people. It itself will endure forever, and it will destroy those kingdoms. Historically speaking, the only group to fulfill this prophecy is the Muslims in 1453, when we defeated the Roman Empire, thereby fulfilling the prophecy found in the book of Daniel. Therefore, we can substantiate that there is a continuity when it comes to relation to Muhammad being a true prophet in relation to the book of Daniel. Go ahead.
I don't know about that because I don't know if Islam destroyed the Mesopotamian.
Mesopotamia is not the full kingdom.
Or what about the Spanish conquistadors?
The Crusaders?
Crusaders.
The Crusaders didn't finish.
South America.
I got you. I got you.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if
I can respond to that.
on one empire, that means that they've accomplished that vision.
I can respond to that because
I wanted to add about Daniel 7:13. So you're saying that you're affirming the visions, you're affirming everything that's in Daniel.
Yeah.
I was watching in the night. This is Daniel 7:13. I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. 2 hymns. Then to him was given dominion, glory, and kingdom. Then all the peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you to worship Muhammad?
Very, very good question, guys. Very good question, and this would most likely be the best objection that someone who goes in the book of Daniel 7 is going to raise. Now, the word in question for serve is palach, and in the Aramaic, the same word is found in the book of Ezra 7:24, because part of Ezra is in Aramaic, and it's used for the pelachim, giving pilach to the temple, which means that the word pilach used is not exclusive to Yahweh. Not only that, the parallel word palach in the Hebrew is used multiple times over and over for Abraham and for other people other than Yahweh, and you can check the lexicon, you can check the interlinear, it's all there. You can check it. So the answer to the question is, yes, according to the Quran, we serve Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, but it's not going to be divine worship because divine worship is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the question to you is, does Ezra 7:24 corroborate, and does the Hebrew equivalent of the word corroborate that the word can be used for other than Yahweh? Yes or no?
I don't know about what you said about the translation of the word, but I just want to clarify that you're saying that you serve someone who's currently dead.
Yeah, we can say that. No issue. The Quran says that we should serve Muhammad because we have his sunnah, we have his tradition, and we obey him. Yes, of course.
So you obey Muhammad?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you give obedience to Muhammad and Allah?
Yes. But it's going to be analogically predicated. When it comes to Allah, it's going to be ultimate worship. When it comes to Muhammad, it's going to be mere servitude in relation to his commands.
And what's the distinction between that obedience and Allah's obedience when Allah has given his commandment to Muhammad? Surely you're only obeying Allah, and you should never say you should be serving Muhammad in any sense.
The Quran literally says, obey Allah and obey the messenger. The Quran
it's two. You're serving two people.
Yeah, but it's going to be analogically predicated. So the only way for you to get around this is to strawman position and say, hey, collapse the two ways of servitude and then attack that, a strawman. You can do that, or you can be intellectually honest and you can engage, because we make a distinction between servitude given to God alone, aka ultimate submission, and follow Muhammad in relation to his teaching and his commandments. So you can go either way. But the point being, I want to go back, because the point of contention is, who is the kingdom that destroyed the Roman Empire? Historically, everyone could look it up. 1453, attack on Constantinople. It was done by the Muslims. The Muslims fulfilled this, no doubt about it, and therefore it substantiates Muhammad being a true prophet. Go ahead.
How exactly did, again, the one that looked like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven, he came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Yeah.
And then to him was given dominion and glory.
That's right. That's right. When it comes to dominion and glory,
and a kingdom that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him.
Yep.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion.
That's right.
Which shall not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed.
You bet.
So his dominion, glory, and kingdom
Yep.
all belong to Muhammad. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Islam is a dominion that is forever, is going to last, and the word being used for forever is, I believe.
I think that sounds, to me, that sounds a bit.
You can give a reductio. One second. You can give a reductio, but if you're going to attack a strawman, it's not gonna get you far.
I don't know if I'm attacking a straw man.
Just give me a second.
Okay,
Give me a second. So yeah, Islam is the dominion, the kingdom, and given to Muhammad, and that Islam is forever.
Whose dominion is it originally? Whose dominion does it belong to?
Yeah, it ultimately belongs to God, but God.
It was given to Muhammad.
Give me a second, but I'm responding. The ultimate dominion is always given to God, but God having that dominion can share it for agents that carry out his dominion.
So Allah shares his glory and dominion with somebody.
Hey, brother, you can wait. You can wait. Because if he's going to give a reductio, the only way out for him is to say, oh, there's going to be shirk. That only obtains, and this is very important, everyone needs to pay attention to this. That only obtains if the modality of dominion is the same when it comes to the subject Muhammad and when it comes to the subject Allah. But we make a distinction. We say that the ultimate dominion over everything is given to God, and shared dominion or partial dominion is given to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him. Now, to be clear, I can say, for example, I have ownership over my house. But hold on, Allah has ownership over my house. Does that mean that I've committed shirk because I'm saying that I have ownership and God has ownership? No, because we make a distinction.
I'm really sorry. That analogy, sorry, really sorry. Give that analogy one more time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For example, we say that Muhammad has a kingdom,
yes,
and God has a kingdom, and you think that's problematic. Well, we can say that Allah owns this house,
yep,
and I can say that I own this house, and the distinction is going to be that God has ultimate ownership of this house, meaning it can't be revoked of his ownership, it can't be sold of him, it can't be bought of him, so on and so forth. But when it comes to me having ownership, give me a second. When it comes to me having this ownership, it's limited. I'm faulty, I'm a creation. So yes, we can say God has ultimate ownership over that dominion, and Muhammad has shared limited ownership over that dominion, and that doesn't contribute because the Quran literally says that Muhammad is given dominion, and that's found in the Sunnah, and there's no issue with it.
Okay. The kingdom that we're talking about is an everlasting kingdom, or nations, or peoples, or tongues. Right? The glory and dominion is given to this person.
Is God given dominion? Or does he have it?
Pardon?
Is God given dominion, or does he essentially have it?
This is God's dominion, and you're saying that this is given to Muhammad, right? So just like you gave the analogy about the house, when you say that Allah has this house, and then Allah gives you dominion of this house, that means that you and Allah both have dominion and glory over this house.
Yeah, if you're going to qualify it, which I'm afraid you don't want to do, because you know, under qualification of the statement, then there's going to be an issue with your argument. I don't know why he's doing this. He knows that if the statement is qualified, it doesn't get an issue. The qualification is that we make a distinction between ultimate ownership, which is reserved for God alone, and limited ownership, which is reserved for his agents. For example, God alone takes away life, right? But God sends angels to carry out this specific job in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's no issue with that. So again, the question is, according to this verse, let me ask this question. Does God essentially have dominion, or is he given dominion?
I don't know what you mean by essentially.
So meaning that he's not given it, he essentially inherently has it in his essence.
I think that
Clarify that a bit more when you say
the question is very simple. Yeah, when it comes to saying God has dominion, is God ever given dominion that he didn't have, or is he essentially has it from past eternity past?
Oh, he has it from eternity.
So the Son of Man can't be divine. Thank you so much, because the Son of Man says that he's given dominion, and therefore he can't be divine. Thank you.
But then, if you're putting it that way, in the sense that dominion is everything and all-encompassing as it's described in this text,
It doesn't say that.
It
Show me where it
all
says.
peoples, nations, languages should serve him.
Yeah, show me where it says that dominion is given is the ultimate dominion that's only reserved for God. Show me. Does it say that?
If all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him,
Yep.
right? And this is given to Muhammad,
Yep.
right? In which he's given glory and dominion.
Yep.
Right? Whose dominion and glory is given to him?
Yeah, he's given the limited dominion by God to the person. Because as just agreed, God is not given dominion. So the Son of Man, according to his own concession, can't be God. And he believes that the Son of Man is Christ.
But that giving of...
Just give me a second.
Okay,
Just give me a second. So again, does the verse say that the dominion given to the Son of Man is the ultimate dominion? Does it say that?
Well, it doesn't say the word ultimate.
Okay, good.
But if you're going to stick with this exact description, then you're saying that the person who's been given it is a king because it's a kingdom.
Yep.
You're saying that they have dominion and glory over peoples and nations.
That's not true, by the way. Because you believe that the Jews... I got you.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And this kingdom is all encompassing of all peoples, nations, and languages, and they should serve him, the person who has been given this dominion.
Yep.
Right? So if you're saying, which you said before, that you are to serve Muhammad, right?
Was Jesus a literal king?
You are to serve Muhammad, right? You are to give him glory. How is that different to the same glory and dominion given to Allah, who's had it first, according to you?
I think I already answered
to your point as well.
Please.
And also, you guys also do worship Muhammad, because when you begin your prayer, you do say Assalamu. I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Nabi.
Yeah. So you are, and worship according to the Quran is prayer. So how can you put all these points together?
Good question.
And reconcile it.
Very good question. This is to answer a very good question. And again, I've already given you the distinction. I don't need to repeat myself.
No, but the distinction isn't real because.
Just give me a second, but I'm answering you. Okay.
No, the reason I'm saying the distinction isn't real is because if you, using your analogy of the house, if you and let's say this person both own the house and he gives you glory and dominion of this house, anyone who lives in this house, anyone who acts in this house, they're going to see you and this person as partners.
Nope.
They're going to see you as equals because
follow.
you both have dominion over the house.
I got you. I'll answer you.
Right?
I'll answer you. That assumes your own understanding of being given dominion. But because Islam allows for a distinction I'm epistemically justified in believing that the reverence and the servitude given to Muhammad is not identical to that of Allah, because Allah himself makes that distinction. He says, obey Allah and obey the messenger. But the same Quran also says that Muhammad, he's a mere man and he passed away. Just give me a second, Baba. So the Quran makes the distinction, and the book of Daniel itself makes the distinction, because if the book of Daniel says that the Son of Man is given dominion, ultimately that can't be the ultimate dominion, because as you just said, God doesn't receive ultimate dominion by his own concession. He said it with his own
That'll
tongue.
be by his essence, because you said essence.
Yeah.
But it could be given to his person.
Just give me a second. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. No issue. And the second point, the question that she asked was regarding, oh, but you guys worship Muhammad because he sent salawat upon him. Well, that would be true, but fortunately, we have the corpus of hadith, which tells us that it doesn't entail worship, because we have explicit narrations that mention that it is the angels that hear the supplication and then give it to Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him. What that means is that Muhammad is not omnipresent. Muhammad doesn't hear the dua that we supplicate to him. We merely say it because he taught us to say it, and it doesn't entail that he's a partner or he has some sort of omniproperty, because it's the angels that carry out the dua to him. Now, the question to you is very simple. When it comes to saying that the Son of Man receives glory and dominion, is that an essential, having dominion, is that an essential property or a hypostatic property? Having dominion.
When he's receiving the dominion and the glory, that's hypostatic, so it's relational.
So guys, pay attention. He just said that God having dominion and glory is not an essential property. So according to...
No.
Oh, so is it essential?
I said it's to the essence.
Is essential meaning that is one of the set of essential properties?
To the essence.
Yes, essential.
Yeah.
It's essential, right?
To the essence.
So good. So the person must essentially... What's up? Yeah, by the way, you're bleeding, by the way.
Am I?
Yeah, you're bleeding.
So God,
Here, in this side.
whichever person is being predicated to, must be essentially having dominion.
I didn't see it.
He believes that the Son of Man does receive that dominion, which means he doesn't essentially have it. So he refuses the argument either way. But again, I would like to proceed past this because we've been over this many times, and clearly they're not able to give a good reductor or a good refutation to it. But I would love for you guys to engage with the argument, which is Muhammad did indeed defeat that Roman Empire, and they're fulfilling the prophecy.
Okay.
That's the substance of the argument.
Wait, you're talking about... Wait. Okay, sorry.
Okay, but just before we go into that, about the worship part. So, according to your Quran, Surah 20:14, it is truly, I am Allah, there is no God worthy of worship. Because prayer is worship, regardless of the other steps that you add onto it, like that you were trying to explain, which is unnecessary. I like to keep things simple and straightforward. There is no need to complicate things. It's just like the meaning of the word spirit is soul, which according to the Quran, Jesus is the word of Allah, and the spirit from him. And the spirit, the meaning of the word spirit is a soul. So you cannot debate that, because that's what's written for the meaning of the word spirit, which is what I do a lot. So how do you still... Allah is supposed to be the only one that you are supposed to worship. Yet prayer is worship, and you are praying to Muhammad.
Yeah, I already qualified that the reason why it wouldn't entail worship, because for it to entail worship, there has to be another qualification. The other qualification is that we're directing and we believe that Muhammad truly hears those prayers simultaneously from all 2 billion believers. That's the only time it would qualify to be shirk or associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since that condition is negated, it wouldn't entail worship. So she's saying, hey, the only condition for it to be worship is that it's prayer. Nope, that's not the condition. There also must be a recipient that you believe truly hears 2 billion believers supplicating towards him every single day. Since that doesn't obtain, and I know you guys don't like it, because when it comes to your belief, you guys are all about personhood and essence and being explicit and being clear with the terminology. But for some reason, when we Muslims do it, it's a problem. No, we're going to give tafsil. We're going to give a breakdown of what we believe to show how it doesn't entail worship. So for it to be worship, Muhammad must be omnipresent. Since Muhammad is not omnipresent, therefore it doesn't entail worship. It's very simple.
What is it then?
It's supplication to Muhammad.
What is that?
Supplication.
Okay.
Dua.